Let's get started by going to Resource Groups and creating a new resource group. Select your subscription and then enter a unique resource name. Select your preferred region, then click Next to go to the tags. We are going to just skip ahead and go to Review and Create. Click on the Create button to create the resource group and then navigate to the resource. Click on Create and type Web App to find and create a web app resource. Select the resource template from the marketplace. Select Create to start the template's wizard process. Make sure your project's resource group is selected and shown. Enter a unique and valid name for our new web app. This unique name will be how we access our web app on the internet. For this project, we will be deploying with code, and our code uses Python. Select the latest Python runtime stack. Select your preferred region for where the web app should reside. By default, it will create a new app service plan for you, but you are welcome to use an existing one. Let's change the SKU and size of our web app. Select the Dev Test category and then the F1 free tier. Next, click on the Deployment button and make sure everything is disabled, as we will set the deployment settings later in this demo. Under Monitoring, let's leave Application Insights disabled. Next, I'm going to skip the creation of tags and just speed forward to Review and Create. Carefully review all your web app settings before clicking on the Create button. Just a reminder, we will set up continuous deployment after we create the web app. Let's create it now. It may take some time to create the resource, but click on Go to Resource after it is done. Here is our very own web app summary display. The URL has the name of our web app and a link to access our resource. It may take a few minutes before your resource is available. You will then see a default web page for your Python web app. The next step is to go to the Deployment Center for your Azure Web App. From the Deployment Center, we will set up continuous deployment from our code that lives in a GitHub repo. Go ahead and navigate to your own GitHub repo. You may fork or clone this demo code to your own account. The requirements and application entry should be in the root of your Python application so that it can integrate with the default Azure pipeline process. In the Deployment Center, select GitHub as the source. You may have to authenticate with GitHub, but after you do so, select your organization, repository, and branch for the setup. We are going to preview the pipeline file, which is in YAML, yuck, another markup language. Just kidding, YAML is yet another markup language. This pipeline file instructs Azure how to build and deploy the Python web app. We will work with the default generated template for demo. Go ahead and click Close, and very importantly, click on Save to save our deployment settings. This process may take some time to complete, but also know it will run the pipeline and deployment process after you click Save. Let's take a look at the logs and see what's going on. I am now redirected to my GitHub web app repository. This shows me a graphical outline of my pipeline process with both build and deployment sections. Here is an outline of the build process. Here is an outline of the deploy process. After it is complete, it will publish the URL for the web app in the log. You can also go to the overview in the Azure portal and access your URL from there. Voila! We have published our Python Flask application as an Azure web app. Congratulations! Don't forget, after you are done with the project, go ahead and stop your resource and delete your resource group.